Let's see.
There it goes.
There it is. All right, David, come on up.
I love that piece so much. What do you think about it, David?
I like it too.
You like it too? Do you have fun when you're playing it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. How long have you been taking piano lessons?
2 or 3 years.
2 or 3 years? Wow. And who's your teacher?
Mr. Michael.
Okay, great. Awesome. Well, let's talk about On With the Show. What kind of show is this talking about?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, maybe a show like what we're doing right now. What do you think? When you perform and everyone's listening and we're enjoying it, maybe that's what it's talking about. Okay? Well, on the text says, On With the Show. Let's get the music going. Does that sound about right?
It just says on with the show.
Yeah, well, when you look at the words over on the second page, do you see where the second page has words on it? Lyrics, does it have lyrics, Dr. Rushing?
On the second page.
In measure 9, On With the Show, let's get the music going. There it is. And then it says, On With the Show. Let's get the rhythm rolling. So that's what we're going to do right now. We are going to get the rhythm rolling. What is rhythm?
The beat.
It is the beat, and it's how long we hold a note, right? It might get 1 beat or 2 beats, or there might be something like a tie. Does this one have a lot of ties?
Yes, ma'am.
It does have a lot of ties. So let's get this rhythm rolling. We are going to use a little bit of speaking before you play. So I want you to say, On With the Show, just like that. Go ahead and clap along with it. On with the show.
On with the show.
Here you go. On with the show.
On with the show.
Can you clap every time you say a word with your voice? On with the show.
On with the show.
There you go. Now let's play On With the Show. Just like that. Let's start right at the very beginning. Let's start right at the very beginning, David. And let's play just the first 4 notes. Because those first 4 notes, we can imagine that they're saying, On With the Show. Can you connect those? Like, On With the Show. Okay. Can you play from your left hand G to your right hand G and connect those 2 sounds? There you go. Left, right, right. Awesome. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So now let's connect it when we go On With the Show. There you go. That sounded awesome. Now let's do the next 2 measures. Go ahead and do the next one just like that. And then the last 2 measures of this page. There. Now let's put it all together. And for all of these, I want you to think, On With the Show. On With the Show. On With the Show. Okay. Now that sounded like we're getting ready for a show to get started. What do you think, David?
Yes, ma'am.
Did that feel good?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Well, now let's look at the next page where it says, on with the show. This is where the first time it says it. So now let's go on with the show. Okay, go ahead and do that line. That's it. Let's go all the way to the end of that line. That sounded fabulous. I heard so much legato. What is legato, David? Can you tell me what that means?
When they're smoothly connected.
That's right, smoothly connected. So that's what we're doing with Let's Get the Music Going. That's nice and connected. Right, let's do the next one. Start at measure 13. Fabulous. Now, let's do the next line. Let's see if we can make that more legato, just like you did the line before. So listen to my right hand. Can you connect all of the notes like that? Okay. Let's break it down. Put your left hand behind your back. There you go. We're going to do just the right hand for this part. And let's connect every note. Let's go really slowly. Oh, there you go. Now let's pretend like we're playing. Have you ever heard this before?
Release.
Yes, you know what it is. Did you know that these notes you're playing are almost the same as for Elise right there?
Yes, ma'am.
You have to go from E, D sharp, to E. And for Elise, it's actually, is it a D sharp? Oh goodness, I'm drawing a blank. So what you're wanting to do is connect them though, just like in for Elise, make them very connected. Can you go back and forth and connect them? Oh, can you feel how connected those are?
Yes,
Can you hear how connected they are?
yes.
Fabulous. Now let's do just the right hand and play. Can you make them even more connected? That was just right. That's exactly what I was hoping to hear you do. Let's look at the next one, starting on the E flat, and let's connect it just that much. Oh, awesome. Okay, let's add the left hand back in and start at 17. Nice and slow. Wow, that sounded really great. Now let's look at the next part. Go ahead and play the next line. Starting at the half notes at measure 21. Right here. There you go. Now finish out the rest. There you go. Okay. And now what we want to do with this is play it one more time. Wow, 10 minutes passes by so quickly, doesn't it? Can you believe it? We're already almost done. Wow. Let's do it one more time, and every time it goes like this. I want you to imagine on with the show in your mind, okay? Let's do the whole thing once more. Thanks so much, David. It's really nice to meet you and get to work with you this morning.
Melody, before we start the next one, can you check to make sure that your audio is on the studio setting instead of the voice setting?
Yes, I can.
For some reason, the screen is flipping back and forth a lot more this time, and I think it has to do with that audio setting.
Oh, you know what? I did forget to do that this time. Okay, let's try that.
We'll try that with Rosemary, I think.
Okay, great. Nice job, Rosemary. How are you today?
I'm good.
It's very nice to meet you. And I understand your teacher is Miss Linda Edwards. Would you please tell Miss Linda hello for me?
I will.
Okay, yes. That would be great. I'm glad she's still teaching in the Taylor School. She was teaching there when I used to teach at Mississippi College and was directing the Taylor School too. It is really fun to know that I know more of your teachers than I expected today. It's so fun. Well, let's take a look at Stomping 5. How long have you been working on this one?
I learned it a while ago,
Mm-hmm.
and then we were working on some new songs, and she just told me to get out this one and play it, and I've been working on it for a week now.
So this is one of your favorites that you just brushed the dust off and got it ready for today, huh? Those are always fun, aren't they? Well, what kinds of things has Miss Linda been working on this piece with you? What are some of the things that she says, oh, Rosemary, you need to remember to do so-and-so?
The eighth notes when I play them, and the beats, how fast I need to go,
Mm-hmm.
and the staccatos.
Well, let me say, you are doing the staccatos great. And you are playing your eighth notes really well, too. And what was the other one you said? Your beats.
Yeah, how fast I need to go.
Yeah, you're doing really well on all of those things.
Thank you.
So let's see what we can do to, I don't know, make it sparkle even more or make it stomp even louder. What do you say? Okay? So let's look at the very beginning. The first two lines are forte, aren't they? Yeah, and you are doing a great job playing that forte. Let's hear those first two lines nice and forte again. Make them sound like you're having so much fun and you're enjoying just stomping around or dancing with a strong beat or whatever it is that you're doing. That's okay. Let's go all the way to the first 2 lines.
Oh, okay.
Measure 8. There. Now that is nice and forte and full and has a big sound, doesn't it? Now what happens in measure 9?
You get softer.
Right. So let's exaggerate how soft you're going to get so that it makes a big contrast, a big difference, okay? So maybe it's really nice and soft right there, okay? All right, go ahead, start at measure 9, and let's go all the way to measure 16, okay? And then it gets louder here, right? There. Let's go back to measure 9 again. Can you play it even more softly? Can you just tiptoe on the keys and just be so light? Okay, so that's okay, you can stop right there. Let's just do 9 through 12 for a second. I want to hear how softly you can play those. Is that the very softest possible that you can play those measures? Can you go even softer? Can you go even softer? There you go. Now to me, listening through here, that sounded just right. Sounded really nice. It was a great contrast from the forte that you are about to play starting in measure 13. So let's start at 9, play measures 9, 10, 11, 12. Dr. Rushing, maybe we need some help with a 3-page piece, spreading it out a little bit. I think that would make it a little easier on Rosemary. Thank you. Let's start at 9, Rosemary. Nice and soft, remember, as softly as possible. And then at the page turn, nice and big again. There, now that was a huge difference, wasn't it? How did it feel when you played such a big difference in piano and forte?
It felt like I played it better.
Yay! Well, it sounded really great. I like that. So let's keep a big difference between the piano and the forte, okay? Now let's look at 17, where it has all those 8th notes going up and going down. And let's figure out what we need to do with those.
We need to make them like way softer.
Oh, because it says what right there?
Mezzo piano.
It says mezzo piano, right? So we need to keep them on the soft side. And then when you do, what is that little sideways V right there? Do you see where I'm talking about in measure 17 where it goes?
Oh,
The little accent, do you see it?
loudest, like play the note louder than the other notes.
There you go, that's it, exactly. So mezzo piano and then a little pop of sound and then back to mezzo piano again, right? So let's hear that part. Let's hear mezzo piano and a little pop of extra sound for the accents and then right back lower.
Okay.
All right, now let's see if it can be just a little less of a pop of sound. So you're still going to be mezzo piano overall, right? But then let's just do a little accent inside of mezzo piano. Does that make sense? how an accent inside of mezzo piano might sound differently than an accent inside of forte? Right, so let's do an accent inside of mezzo piano. I like it. I heard it. It accented, but it wasn't too big, was it? Sounded great. Okay, let's jump down to measure 23 and just go for about 8 measures starting at 23.
Okay.
That's it. I know, that was sort of an awkward place to start, wasn't it, Rosemary? I'm sorry about that. All right. So let's do the very last line, starting at measure 39. Okay, right at the end. Let's do that end, and let's make that end sound so exciting. There you go. That was a very exciting ending. Let's hear the whole thing one more time with your big differences in dynamics, nice big fortes, nice soft pianos. Thank you, Rosemary. So nice to meet you today, and I enjoyed hearing you play and getting to work with you.
Thank you. Me too.
Who is next?
My list says Andy is next. Hi, Andy. How are you? You doing well today? All right. I am ready to hear this wonderful piece. Are you ready to play? You ready? Fabulous. You have got some really fast fingers, don't you, Andy? Do you enjoy playing fast music? Yeah, what is your favorite type of music to play?
I have no idea.
Fast or slow?
I think fast.
You think fast? Well, I think fast suits you well. What do you think? How long have you been taking piano lessons, Andy?
Almost 3 years.
All right. Who is your teacher?
Miss Kaiser.
Okay, great. Well, let's take a look at this for just a second. What I would like to hear is just a tiny bit slower so that my ears have time to hear all the notes, okay? They were passing by so fast, I couldn't hear all of them sometimes. So let's go just a tiny bit slower so that we can focus more on more dynamics. I hear your dynamics and you're doing a really good job with them, but let's do more with it. Let's exaggerate, okay? So a little slower and more dynamics. Let's start at the very beginning and do just a little bit at the beginning. Okay, that's good. That's good right there. That's good. Now, when the notes go higher, they want to get louder, don't they, Andy? Yeah, so let's let them get louder. Let's help them get louder as they go higher. And this piece goes up and down, doesn't it? So we're going to have lots of crescendo and decrescendo and crescendo and decrescendo all the way through. So let's start at the beginning. And crescendo and decrescendo and crescendo and decrescendo. Okay? Let's try those first two lines again. When the notes go higher, get louder. And when the notes go lower, softer. Okay, that's good. That's good. Now, let's slow it down just a little bit. And let's start where you left off on right through there. Let's start there on the B flat. And let's go slower. Do you see where I'm talking about? Measure 9. Right here. Right there. So slow it down a little bit. And let's exaggerate those dynamics. Let's do more with the dynamics to make it even more exciting than it already is.
Measure 9?
Yes.
There?
Well, my measure 9 says this, starting on the B flat and then G minor right here. Are our measures numbered differently, possibly?
I think this is written in cut time and eighth notes.
Oh, that would be the difference. Okay.
Are you looking for the...
I'm looking for the start at G minor.
Let's just start at the beginning, shall we?
Sure, sounds great. Start at the beginning, Andy. That'll be wonderful. That's okay, you can stop right there. That's actually a really great place to stop right there. And I like that you slowed it down just a little bit. That made the notes feel more precise. Do you know the word precise?
Kind of.
Kind of. It just means that they're very, what is another word for precise? I'm drawing a blank here today. It just means they're very exact. They're very clean, and they sound really nice. So I love that that's how it came out when you played it just now. So let's start where you just stopped, okay? Find the measure where you just stopped. And let's start right there. Let's slow it back down a little bit. It's getting a little faster. Let's slow it back down so we have time to think about all the dynamics, okay? And when the notes go higher, get louder, and lower, get softer. Okay, that's all right, that's fine. You know, it does some different kind of stuff, doesn't it? I think your brain's just trying to do them both at the same time, but that is okay. That is okay. Have you ever counted how many notes this piece has?
No.
That might be interesting to do sometime because it has so many, so many. So let's go towards the end. And I'm not going to try and guess what measure number it is, but let's go towards the end after it goes right here. Can you find that part where you have the left-hand octaves on the D flat first and then the C? Or mine, it's on the last page out of 3. Thanks, Dr. Rushing. All right, let's start right there, Andy. And let's make from there to the end sound as exciting as possible. If it says soft, play is very, very softly. Loud is going to be a huge forte. Let's just make it have the excitement. It's going to be low D flat. Is that a hard place for you to start, Andy?
Yeah.
Is that a tricky place? Well, why don't you find a spot that's easy for you to start? Is it really hard to start in the middle of this piece for you? Is that really tricky?
Huh?
Is starting in the middle of the piece really tricky?
Yeah.
It's hard, right? Yeah, it's really hard. Well, you know what? That's actually a good thing to practice sometimes. It's just starting right in the middle and trying to figure out where you are. Because sometimes being able to start in the middle is an important thing to know how to do, isn't it? So that might be a helpful hint that you could take along with you, is practicing starting in the middle sometimes. That's just an interesting way to make your brain think in a different way, huh? Yeah. And Dr. Rushing, I have lost track of time. How are we doing?
Shall we do one more run through?
Yeah, let's do one. All right, that sounds great. Well, let's do one more run through, Andy, and let's make it as exciting as you can, okay?
play us some Breathe.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Good.
Good. How long have you been taking piano lessons?
About 4 years.
About 4 years? Who is your teacher?
Mr. Rushing.
Okay, great. Well, I look forward to hearing this. Thank you, Sarah. How long have you been working on this piece?
2 months, I think.
2 months? So do you learn music pretty quickly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. That is a good thing, right?
Yes.
Yes, because you get to play so many wonderful pieces. What is your favorite piece that you have ever played?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? Do you have lots of favorites?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Great. Well, with this one, it's all about the fast notes, isn't it? What do those fast notes represent?
The bird.
They're the bird, right? What is the bird doing?
I don't know.
Could he be singing, perhaps?
Maybe.
He might be singing. He might be just kind of ruffling his feathers a little bit, right? Anything that a bird is doing, this could be representing, couldn't it? So let's think about those accented notes. Da-da-da-dum, 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 right? Can we make those accents just a little bit lighter so that it sounds like the bird is just fluttering around, doing bird things, whatever birds do. So let's do a little bit at the beginning and let's da-da-da-dum. Let's make the accent just a little bit lighter so the bird sounds like he's just singing this nice song. All right, that's good, Sarah. So, does it feel a little different to you to play the accents a little bit lighter? Mm-hmm. And I know, I'm listening to you on these, so it's going to sound just a little bit different what I'm hearing on here than it's probably sounding to everyone who's in the room there. So if something that I'm telling you, Dr. Rushing says, we're not going to do it that way, it's probably because I just can't hear you as well as I might if I was sitting right next to you, okay? So always keep that in mind when we're working online. So let's keep those accents a little bit lighter. Have you used the pedal with this piece?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did I hear you using just a little bit at the end?
No.
No, that's just the richness of the piano then. That's the awesome piano, right? Okay. On here, I don't know if you can see, does your copy have any pedal markings on it?
Yes, ma'am.
It does? Let's just experiment with that for a minute, because it might make the bird sound like it's just fluttering more freely. So let's experiment with the pedal for a second. Let's just take the first example of where the pedal puts down and then lets back up. pedal markings look like? Does it look like the line that goes down and then up and then down? Or does it look like the little word ped with a star afterwards? Or some people call it a flower. Does it look like the little flower?
Yeah.
It does, okay. So when you see the word ped, that's where you put the pedal down, isn't it? And then you hold it down until you see the flower. I'm sure there's a more appropriate word than flower, but hey, let's call it a flower. And then you lift your foot when you see the flower, right? Yeah, so let's give it a try. So you'll do the, let's see, pedal down, and then, whoops, sorry. And then pedal up on the low fifth, and then pedal down, and then fifth, up, and then you'll just follow along like that, okay? So it's going to kind of catch a little bit of the interesting sounds in the pedal. Let's give it a try. Okay, so let's do one more time. I like the first one. Pedal down and then up. Pedal down and up. So let's catch this A in the pedal and let it ring as you play those. Okay, then we can hear all three of those notes at the same time. It sounds so pretty that way. And then up. There, and it always comes up with that second left-hand fifth, doesn't it? Or right after. Okay, so that's something just to think about as you work on this one, is maybe just doing little bits of pedal here and there. Might make the bird song sound like it's sparkling a little more. Let's start at the repeat sign. And where it says pianissimo at the repeat, let's work there for just a minute. Okay, there you go. That's good, Sarah. Let's start on the da-da-da-da-dum right here. Right through there. Let's start on those. And let's see if we can make it sound so clean and so clear that our ears can hear every single note that your right hand is playing, even though they are super fast right there. Da-da-da-da-dum. Okay, let's do just the right hand for a second. Okay, now let's put it in slow motion. Da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-dum. There you go, that's it. So when you're playing those super fast notes, you just have to dance your fingers, don't you? To make them happen quickly enough. So now let's move it back, but what I want you to do is just think of all of the notes as you play them to make sure that you're thinking of all of them and aware of all of them, okay? So let's do the right hand of just what you just did again. Da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-dum. Hey, that sounded really great, Sarah. Let's add the left hand back to it. I like it. What do you think?
I like it too.
It sounds very clear to me. It sounds nice. All right, let's look. Starting when you have the descending groups of 5. Da-da-da-dum. Okay, let's do, where is an easy place for you to start close to those? Sure, that would be great. let's experiment with the pedal on these for a second. So where you see head, which basically it's going to be on the descending group, right? That's where you'll pedal. What do you think?
I like it like that.
You like it? Yeah, so that's just something to think about. Adding a pedal just adds a little bit different color to the music, doesn't it? Yeah, just a little different color. All right, let's go to the very, very end. Maybe about 4 measures from the end where it has 3 P's, pianissimo. Super, super, super soft as possible. Here. Now, on those 2 last chords, sorry, I'm speaking softly like you just played. Let me speak loudly enough so you can hear what I'm saying. On the 2 last chords, they have 4 notes, one of them, doesn't it? And then the next one has 3 notes. When you play those 4 notes at the same time, listen really carefully that they happen at exactly the same time. Okay? Make sure they're lining up vertically. So let's just play the last 2 chords, line them up vertically. Can you do them even softer? Just really soft. There. That sounds really nice. Okay, Sarah, let's hear the whole thing one more time. It won't take but a second. Thank you so much, Sarah. It's nice meeting you today and working with you.
Good job, Sarah.
Thank you.
All right, Colin.
Hi, Colin. How are you?
Pretty good.
That's great. That is great. How long have you been taking piano lessons?
About 3 years.
About 3 years? Fantastic. Well, I am looking forward to hearing you play this today. Go ahead. love this piece so much. What do you think of it?
Pretty good.
Pretty good? What's your favorite piece that you've ever played, Ben? Do you have a favorite?
I'm not finished with this piece, but I think it's The Entertainer.
I love The Entertainer. Yes, I see why you would choose that one. Definitely see why you would choose that one. Well, oh, you know what? I forgot to ask you. Who is your piano teacher?
Miss Kaiser.
Great. And she's here today?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, hi, Miss Kaiser. I didn't realize you were in the room. How are you? It's nice to meet you. Great. Okay, Colin. Well, let's take a look at this. You have a great tempo. Your notes sound really clear and clean, and all of those things are really good when you're playing music by a composer such as Haydn. Do you know when Haydn composed? Do you know which period he was from?
The Romantic.
A little bit earlier.
No idea.
Classical. He was from the classical period. So, do you know any particular things about classical music from the classical period?
There's
They have a
rock
certain
music.
What's that? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
There was no rock music.
Oh, you were right about that. Maybe they thought this was rock music. Who knows? We don't know. So let's take a look at it, and let's start at the very beginning. And what I would love, and it may just be because I'm on headphones, you know, sometimes I can hear things differently on these than if I was sitting beside you. But what I would love is if your left hand was a little bit lighter. So let's see if you can do, whoops. Let's see if you can lighten up that left hand just a little bit. Okay, so there's a word for that, and it's called balance. Are you familiar with that word, balance? Yeah. So what we're going to do is work on just exaggerating the balance for a second. We're going to overdo it for just a minute, okay? So when you overdo it, what I want you to do is play the right hand extra loudly and then play the left hand extra softly. And let's see what happens. Okay? So here, let's try something. Let's see. Let me put my camera down. So what I'm going to do is, whoops, oh, okay. So what I want you to do is, with your right hand, I want you to pat, and you can do this on your lap if you want. I want you to pat loudly, and then with your left hand, I want you to pat very softly. So you're going like this at the same time. Okay? You know what? Let me do it on my lap too. Can you see my lap? Okay. So what we're going to do is first your right hand, because that's the louder voice, right? So let's just get that right hand going. Just pat so you can hear it. And then we're going to add the left hand, but our left hand is not going to lift off of our lap. It's just going to go like this. So see how I'm only tapping my fingers? That's kind of helping me to get my muscles and my brain ready to play loudly with my right hand and softly with my left. So I'm kind of training my brain that that's what I want to do. So then what we can do is play a loud note with the right, and then a soft note with the left. You can do that. And then you can do it together. Try it together. So start it again, and let's just focus on letting the left hand be the softer hand, and the right hand being the hand that's playing the melody, right? The hand that we need to hear the most. So why don't we do just the first 8 measures or so will be good. definite difference in your hands. I'm hearing your right hand sing out the melody. This piece is written to play along with what? Just piano?
But with
No.
the violin and the cello.
Right, it's written to go with other instruments, isn't it? So that's something also to think about, is that do you think you might play this with other instruments sometime?
I'm performing it next week with the orchestra.
Well, fantastic then. Awesome. Congratulations. That'll be fun, won't it? Have you played with an orchestra before?
I only practice with.
Only practice with them? Well, that's good that you've already had the opportunity to practice with them, right? So what is the difference between playing piano as a solo instrument versus playing piano with other instruments? What do you have to do differently? Anything?
You have to listen to them.
Mm-hmm. You do. Anything else? Well, there has to be a balance between what you're doing and what they're doing, right? So that the audience can hear the piano because you're the soloist, right? So let's imagine that right now, the other people sitting in the room behind you are playing the other instruments, okay? Let's imagine audience, don't worry, you don't have to fake playing an instrument. I won't ask you to do that. But Colin, let's imagine that they are. And you know what the rest of the instruments sound like in your head. So I want you to hear what they are doing in your mind as you play your part. And just try to fit everyone together like a puzzle and make your part sing out above the other instruments since you're the soloist. Play, let's say, the first maybe 6 measures. Wherever you come to a nice ending would be a good spot. So you want to always sing out above what the orchestra or the other instrumental players are doing, right? Yeah, so just make sure it's singing out. Now let's go to the part where I lost, let's go over there to the repeat, right after the repeat. Right before there you go, right before the long trill. And tell me, do you have any tricks for playing the left hand? Or are you just diving in there and playing it?
Diving in there and playing it.
Yeah, well, you know, that works, right? So why don't you start right there, and let's go all the way and stop at the end of the trill, okay? That's a long trill, isn't it? But they get to keep playing while you're doing it, so, you know, it sounds really, really awesome. With your left hand, let's see if we can figure out a way to make those notes as even as possible. Da 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 da. Let's see. Do you see how my arm kind of moves just a little bit? Do you know why my arm is moving just a little bit? It's because, Well, it's because I'm actually balancing the weight of my arm on each finger, and I'm transferring the weight of my arm from one finger to the next. So that's why it's moving a little bit. So, and that also helps those notes to be as even as possible. So I want you to feel when you play it, keep them very as even as you can. Da 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 da. There you go. Those are sounding pretty even. How are they feeling? Pretty good? Not bad? Okay, I'll take one of these. That's fine. That works. So now let's put the right hand back with it. And remember how we talked a little more about balance earlier? See if you can make that left hand really soft, just da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and then let the right hand still sing out, because the right hand is about to do that trill, which is incredibly important. All right, Colin. Well, you know what I think? I think we need to go back to the beginning and hear the whole thing one more time. Balance it as much as you can. Let that right hand sing out. Let the left hand just do the harmony and accompany what the right hand is doing and support the right hand. And let's hear it. Thank you so much, Colin. It was fun working with you on this today, and best wishes when you perform it in a few weeks.
Thank you, Dr. Payne. I keep calling you Dr. Hanberry. I'm sorry.
That is okay. I was Dr. Hanberry for many, well, not for many. I was a Hanberry for many years.
Right. Good. Thanks again for doing this. The second session, it kept flipping back and forth between the screen way more than it did in the first session, so I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, I can see the screen. Yeah, I can see it from here, and I don't know what it was doing, but...
Yeah. But thank you again. This is a great opportunity for us, so appreciate it.
Definitely my pleasure. Definitely. I enjoyed it. Thank you so much for inviting me to do this today.
Thanks. Keep in touch.
Absolutely. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.